On this week's show, we're going to talk about Destiny 2 beta impressions and San Diego Comic-Con. Lots of stuff got revealed. We'll talk about it. See you there.
Hello and welcome to episode 44 of Birds of Play. I'm one of your hosts, Logan Anstead. Today I'm joined by
Pierce Turner
and
Johnston Tyler McCrone.
So we've had
sneeze.
an interesting week.
Yeah.
In the office especially. I brought in my PS4. We played the Destiny 2 beta.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think so far, John?
I liked it. That's one. I liked it. Something that I think Pierce there's a sentiment for, though, is that it feels a lot like Destiny 1, just kind of rehashed. Do you want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I feel like, you make a wrong turn in life when you become the Destiny correspondent for a show, but
Oh my god.
he's right. I mean, it's Destiny 1. It's like, the way I describe it is Destiny 1 with like a new haircut and tighter fitting pants, Like, it's better in just about every way, but it's also not like significantly, it's hard to get hyped about it, is what I mean, because it's so similar that if you've been playing Destiny as long as I have and you've been playing it throughout, then you're just kind of like, okay, it's just more Destiny. And you're excited, yeah, but you're not like, whoa, it's not like a new announcement because it's pretty much just Destiny.
So let's break down the parts of the beta. There are three parts. There is the first story mission. There is a cooperative strike. And there is one multiplayer map that you can play in quick play or competitive mode. So let's start with the story mission.
It's more than one map.
Right now it's just
one map.
I literally played more than one map.
You played more than one map?
Yeah.
You got the cheats.
I don't know
the
how.
cheat beta codes.
Because we played for 3 hours yesterday. And it was
That's what
only
you get
one
when you're a
map.
Destiny 2 correspondent.
That's why.
You get the extra maps.
You get those extra codes.
So story mode, you fight a brute.
Yeah.
That was
You
fun.
fight the joke about Gary or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah, Grodd.
Yeah. It's just, I think he's a really cool villain. For what we see, it's definitely a change of pace from the Hive enemies.
He kind of looks like
stuff.
Darth Vader at the end of the 6th movie.
A little bit,
Oh,
actually.
where they pull off
His
the
eyebrows
A
are
little
gone.
bit, actually.
Yeah. Before they cremate him.
Not that intimidating, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I like the whole idea of losing the last city, and it really was like, it wore off for me because I saw the gameplay reveal and I watched it like the first time, but like that idea of the place where we've been playing for the past 3 years just being completely destroyed,
Yeah.
and then not knowing what to do is kind of amazing. And
Well, we
I
know what
think
to do.
Yeah, no,
Take it back.
Well, yeah, I think it's an interesting concept. We haven't seen anything past the first mission because
It's a
the
very
game's coming
popular
out.
way to do a sequel, like Iron Man 3. It's like
Oh my
the
God.
no, it's just the example.
right,
The trailer
you're
you see for that movie, his house gets blown up, all of his suits get blown up.
Yeah.
It's very similar. It's like the same. Everything that was cool in the last one got blown up. Now what do you do?
Bruce Maine's Wanner.
Bruce Maine's Wanner.
Enjoy the darkness.
Bruce Wayne's Manor gets blown up in
That gets
episode
blown up in
3.
the first movie though.
Oh yeah, it always gets blown up.
What are those push-ups for if you can't lift the bloody board?
Exactly.
But so let's
It was
move
a good
on.
story.
Yeah, I think it was a good story mission, and I think the
turbine part was really
cinematics are
hard.
still good. Let's move on to the strike, which you and Brandon had quite a time with yesterday.
I mean, when you're playing with no coordination with teammates
Yeah.
and something like that, you know.
That's the excuse.
But
That's
what did
excuse.
you think of the strike?
I mean, it was better than most strikes in Destiny 1, and that's saying not a lot actually. But I mean, it felt structured. There were some cool set pieces. Destiny 1, a lot of the strikes were just kind of hallways with enemies to fight, and then one boss that was like a bullet sponge. And this was kind of that, but it felt more elaborate. It felt more like they tried, and that's a lot has to do with just Destiny 2 being a game that isn't held back by the past.
Yeah.
Destiny 1 was held back by the last generation, and you can immediately tell that Destiny 2 is a 2017 game.
Yeah.
You know,
I also think that like the way they designed it was a lot more reminiscent of the Taken King. I remember the two brothers strike, where you just had a bunch of changing, I guess, enemies that you had to approach.
Right.
And this was, the floors falling through, which is a really cool effect. But it also changed up what weapons the enemy, the Vex Mine you were fighting,
kept
had.
changing,
So I really appreciated that. I also thought, though, it did that thing that Destiny always seems to do, where they just wrap you around a corridor and a bunch of hallways that I feel like are going to get so repetitive again. Because it's just like, that's one thing I noticed throughout the story stuff. Like, the multiplayer maps are a different story because, you're going to play those hundreds of times over if you're really into the game. But knowing with strikes, you might play each strike hundreds of times over if you're really into it. So I just feel like it all looks too much like Destiny 1, except for like the launching stuff.
It'd be nice to have the strikes have almost the same scope as raids. Not be as long, obviously, but I mean like, you know, a lot of the raids start with you falling into the abyss or something, or you jumping into to the moon. Like, it'd be cool if every strike started with something crazy, or you start with a ship that's crashing, or just just something different.
And the No Man's Land part was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, because like that's a diverse. No, I told him like it's like No Man's Land. But no, I'm looking for more diversity from it, and like we talked about earlier, like it's not that far of a step from Destiny 1. And I think that's what's the most disappointing thing to me. Like,
it's not that
I love Destiny, but it's just like I need something more to entice me to keep playing.
Well, the beta doesn't give you a lot to work with, and the thing that didn't need to change from Destiny 1 was the gameplay. I mean, that was some of the best first-person shooter gameplay ever. Yeah. And the only thing it feels different is it feels more liquidy. It feels more fluid. Like jumping feels better.
It feels snappier. Too.
So it actually feels more like a modern game. That's the only difference. Other than that, if you play Destiny 1, you are not going to have any trouble playing Destiny 2.
What do you think about? You're normally a PC person. How was the console controls? How was all that?
Well, I mean, Brandon and I, because we're both PC players, we were saying it while playing that the aim assist was like crazy. Like, it was kind of difficult for us to deal with because we're just not used to it. And then you're like, well, turn it off. And then we both said, well, if we don't have it, we can't play with the controller. Well, that's way more akin to us just not being used to, because, I haven't played a console game in like 2 years, so I'm just not used to it.
But coming into it, how did Destiny feel as kind of like
very smooth.
A new player?
Very smooth. Very nice. Just for the strikes, I know like this isn't my raid thing, but I'm glad I didn't have to solve the Enigma code or anything. And when the highest moon is up, I'm glad I didn't do that. My only thing with it, which is kind of my problem with Destiny 1, and you touched on it a little bit, where the final boss was just a bullet sponge. You just kind of, and it was, the floor changed and everything, but every stage you was just walking in a circle and you went, like literally there would be a point where you just stand on top, you shooting your friend, and you duck down, so it wasn't that fun. Like, it was so exhilarating, and then it got to that and it was such a drain.
As Destiny 1 went on and more expansions came out, that sort of got better.
Yeah.
There were bosses where you, especially the raid bosses, you had to dunk a basketball, then you had to flip a thing, and then it was the bosses.
It's a waxing moon, not a waning moon. We gotta do it again.
Yeah, some of the bosses ended up being kind of more puzzles than bosses.
Yeah. Which I would always watch videos of people doing that. I'm like, why? This is so complicated. I need this.
But it's cool to figure that out.
It's better than Bullet
It's really cool to figure out. The one that was in the Taken King right before you fought Oryx or whatever his name is.
The two sisters or whatever. The big ogre.
The big ogre. Yeah. I always loved that.
That's a really cool fight, and it's a really hard fight. It's arguably the hardest fight in Destiny.
There was one point where I was playing with a group because I had just finished the raid and they needed a 6th guy. I was like, oh, I have time tonight. I'll help you guys out. And they couldn't get through it. So the strike leader, and this is what's so good about Destiny, and this is why I'm really excited to get back into it. He's just like, every time we get stuck, we play ABBA. So they played the ABBA soundtrack, and we went perfectly through the rest of the raid.
That's a Destiny thing.
It made no sense. But that's the weird stuff that happens with Destiny. And so, side note, I like getting back into it.
The great thing about Destiny is if you have a group of friends that played all 3 years of Destiny 1, there are going to be some memes, and there are going to be some inside jokes, and you're going to want to play Destiny 2. Even the whole time you were complaining about that game, you're like, man, this sucks. Why isn't this good? Why is this guy a bullet sponge? But even though, despite all that, you were having fun and you made memes.
And I will say, with the Enigma code stuff like that, it's kind of like the stuff with Call of Duty Zombies. That was really where I kind of went with my friends.
The Easter egg stuff.
It was amazing to play through and everything. And Destiny's kind of the same way, but Destiny feels a lot better than Call of Duty Zombies ever did. So I'm excited to. I'm probably gonna pick it up honestly on PC.
So before we finish off this segment, let's talk about multiplayer real quickly. I had a good time playing it.
I had a question about that.
PvP.
Is there cross-play, or am I mistaken?
Cross-play
between platforms?
No.
No. Okay.
I
can't remember.
We
not
wish.
Rocket League.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's kind of just waiting on Sony's end. We've seen it with Rocket League, but
I didn't play the multiplayer.
So PvP, as you were itching to.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. Felt more of the same, honestly.
Well, it's impossible to get a read on it with the beta because the problem with Destiny 1's PvP was the balance. I mean, it was atrociously balanced.
Because it was always just one thing was super high tier above everything
and in
else.
the end, at the end of its life cycle,
it was just grenades.
Because everything was just nerfed into obscurity and oblivion. Like it just wasn't good. So people were just punching and throwing grenades. So there was a big problem with balance in Destiny 1, and if that's fixed in Destiny 2 and it has the same gameplay, I'm all for it.
Well, PvP wasn't really Destiny's strong point, correct? It was mainly the PvP
But it was
elements.
Halo's strong point.
Yeah.
True.
And it's the same developers.
Bungie,
And I
so,
always
yeah.
said, I was like, can Destiny 2 just be more like Halo?
Yeah.
Especially the PvP.
Like if PvP was more like Halo, where you have like a limited amount of powers, there's like no supercharges, it's mainly just gun shoots and grenades. Do you think that would improve it a lot, or you would miss the old elements?
Well, certainly have a mode like that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Maybe like a classic
I think
mode or something.
Destiny feels hollow without the supers and like the abilities like that. Like yesterday, I played with like the new, I think it's Arc Strider, I think it's called for the hunter, and I think I showed you
The
like
spear?
The,
Yeah.
pole dancer.
yeah. So like literally like I was just going around and there was like this much time, and all of a sudden the entire enemy team spawned, and I just got a 5-man. Like
Yeah.
I killed 4 of them, and then another one respawned, and I got them again. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. But I feel like the same thing's going to happen where the stuff gets nerfed into oblivion. But going forward with Destiny, I personally don't feel like the beta has shown me enough to, if I'm trying to recommend it to friends who didn't like Destiny 1 or were looking for improvements, I don't think it's shown me enough to go forward. What do you think?
Well, I think they almost did that on purpose. I mean, I don't think they needed to put much effort into the Destiny 2 beta because it's kind of more of the same. They're like, yeah, we'll give you this, but I mean, honestly, if you like the first one, you like this one. If you didn't like it, you're not going to like this one.
Yeah.
Really, what I see is people who play Destiny 1 are like 100% going to pick it up. And then they're just going to get like all the PC players who were really jealous of people who played Destiny 1. Like that's really what Brandon and I are doing. Like we wanted to play Destiny 1, but we had PC so we couldn't, and now we can, so we're just going to pick it up. Like I really think that's who they're going for, because it is kind of the same game. So they're just picking up like all the PC players, and getting all the extra
I
money
would
from
never
console.
recommend Destiny to anybody unless they have a dedicated handful of friends. I mean, like
Oh,
5
yeah.
or 6 people who
Oh,
will
yeah.
play it with them. Otherwise, it's just not worth
They
it.
have those guided games now, though.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean,
Guided
you have
games?
to.
It's just matchmaking.
It's
just
yeah.
matchmaking.
Destiny was so fun for me because I had a group of friends that were all ready to go every time we had a
Right.
clan. But if I didn't have that, Destiny would have sucked. Like
Yeah.
it would have been arduous and boring and tedious.
I never did like much of the Trials of Osiris, because towards the end of the game's life cycle, when that was like really big, like no one was ever on enough to do it, and no one cared enough. So like, if you like in the past, you didn't get to experience everything if you didn't have that group of friends.
Right.
And that was what such a big problem is, and that's why people are excited about the guided games feature. But it is
People with no friends.
it is just
People with no
it is
friends.
just glorified matchmaking. But when you think about it, getting 6 friends together for a raid, it's kind of
It was always difficult.
Yeah.
But when it happened, it was magic.
Magic, ABBA.
Sparkles in the air.
Sparkles
We
in the
played
air.
ABBA and then we
played
kicked
ABBA.
ass.
It really was the stupidest
I'm lying.
thing, but
We
it
actually got
happened.
our asses kicked every time. The Trials of Osiris.
Is there going to be a Destiny 2 DLC that when you're losing a couple of times, ABBA just starts playing in the game? That's the
It's
song.
just
No,
dead.
it's that Paul McCartney song.
No, now I just have to make a montage of the Arc Strider to Dancing Queen, and that's just what has to
Dancing
happen.
Queen.
It'd be nice.
So we're gonna dance on out of this segment.
That was
We'll
bad.
be right back with Birds of Play.
Spinnaker presents the Spinnaker app. Content for UNF students by UNF students. Listen live with the Spinnaker radio anytime, anywhere. Completely customizable, you decide what news you want, when you want.
You're watching Spinnaker Television.
Hello.
Hey,
Welcome back
everybody.
to Birds of Play.
Welcome
Alex
to the
did the
show.
greatest countdown for that.
Guys, I'm in here.
Yeah, Brandon is here, Brandon Diaz, to talk about some San Diego Comic-Con.
Rocco's Modern Life. I just
Wow.
watched the trailer for it.
That's
Was
it
that
was
announced
at SDCC.
oh my goodness.
It's coming back, everybody.
No, was it? Or
yeah,
what?
it was.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Let's talk about the video games.
What's some other video games?
Let's start with Telltale's reveals.
Comic-Con. Let's
Because this is the most meat.
Yeah, okay.
It's
all
got the
right.
most meat.
So, Walking Dead season 4,
Not
the
excited.
final season
Not excited.
revealed. Not excited?
Not excited at all.
Did you ever play the first season?
He doesn't like
did.
Telltale.
I like Wolf
you
Among
don't-
Us.
Okay.
And I like Batman a little bit.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to
that.
We'll get to that.
Any thoughts on the reveal of The Walking Dead?
The only Telltale I've played is Wolf Among Us, and I really enjoyed that. I've heard good things about The Walking Dead, and not really been interested in the TV show. Or the
I played
games.
season 1. I played season 2. And I watched a couple walkthroughs of season 2. I'm currently watching season 3. But they haven't finished with it yet. And I think it's so bad. Like season 1 was pretty solid, had a little bit of issues, but it was like the first time coming into it, so I gave it. Season 2 had a lot of like weird plot things that didn't really make any sense, and season 3 is just terrible. Like the characters are so poorly written, the writing's so bad. Like the decisions, like literally, it happens. Your decisions absolutely mean nothing. Like absolutely nothing.
Here's my thoughts on it as someone who plays the series a lot. The season 1, I think, is a necessary game that everybody needs to play.
I would agree with that. 'Cause
It's on almost every console. You can get it on PC. I mean, like last gen and this gen. It's a necessary game. 2012 Game of the Year for a lot of outlets.
How do you feel about like
Very
the
great
narrative
game.
of it?
Telltale games are like something that I like because it's a narrative-driven thing. On the flip,
I like point and clicks.
On the flip side, from what you said, I hated season 2. I couldn't
Yeah.
stand season 2. Clementine as a main character is just not something I like. She's great in a supporting role or somebody that you play.
True, yeah. She's
in
not that strong as a main character.
She's great when you play in tandem with somebody, but especially in that season, she was still a kid. And it was just annoying because she was still very incapable.
Have you seen it before? I didn't mean to cut you up. But have you seen anything of season 3? Played it all?
Yeah, I played the
Okay,
whole.
okay.
I played through season 3. Loved season 3.
Really?
I really liked it.
I don't like I said, I'm only halfway through it. Even as an adult, I don't think Clementine's that strong.
I understand.
honestly.
Well, I mean, she's
doesn't
still only 14, I think. in
Well,
that.
she's been in this
yeah.
life for a long time. She's basically an
she's
adult.
been through some shit.
Yeah, she's basically an adult.
But no, I really like Javier and his group is a really good set of characters, and Clementine plays a supporting role with them, but she's still a major part of the story. Now, season 4, which they just announced is going to be the last season, has Clementine as the main role again,
Right.
which is extremely worrying to me. Not because I don't think they're capable of putting out a good story. It's just, I mean, she's old enough now, so hopefully it'll be different, but it was just like this whiny mess of like, half the stuff was like her sewing up her arm in season 2 and
her
just
getting
crying
juice
about
boxes.
it. Yeah, and just like getting
Juice boxes,
juice boxes. Like,
Brandon.
it's just random crap that I didn't want to do.
So do you think they're gonna move on from like babying a child in season 2 to like her being able to just like
She's probably going to be like
do
some type of Michonne X
anything?
character that finds some type of Rick prison group and doesn't want to join them because of Michonne reasons and then gets killed for some
The
reason.
thing that they are
Michonne died?
No.
The thing that they're saying.
Spoilers.
Oh God! The thing that they're saying that it's going to be based around is basically her trying to find AJ, who is
Right.
the
The
kid
baby.
from
The baby.
from season 3.
The baby.
Not a baby anymore.
Metroid Prime.
Not a baby. Oh God.
But like my thing about it, and I said this before, Walking Dead season 1, your choices mattered. Wolf Among Us, your choices mattered. At least from what I've seen. I played the other ones except for Tales of the Borderlands, which I heard
So you
is
just
the best
watch
one.
these?
Oh no, Tales of the Borderlands.
No.
I played that as well.
I didn't watch Tales of the Borderlands. I either play them or I watch them. Because I'm interested in the way the story goes. I played most of them. I've actually
Playing
played
them
most
and
of them.
watching them is kind of a cop-out, and I understand people do that because it's like a game you can get through in 10 to 12 hours, depending
Yeah.
on which one it is, and it's very decision-based. But like, if you aren't making the decisions yourself, the weight and gravity of these games aren't full.
No, I played through most of them. I haven't played season 3,
But when you
and I
talk-
haven't played Telltale.
When you
that's
talk
it.
about season 3,
or
you're like,
Telltale, Borderlands.
you criticized season 3 and you said, I felt like the choices didn't matter. You weren't making those choices, and also at the same time, like, season 3, I think, has perfected your choices mattering.
No, because
Or-
like the
that's not
example
a
I
word.
give, and I know we're kind of getting into this deep,
Yeah.
but talking about Telltale is interesting for me. There's a choice you make where you want to stay in this hut or you want to leave the hut, right? And no matter what the choice you make, literally like 30 seconds later, people who own the hut come in and say, "Hey, you need to leave."
Yeah.
So the choice means literally nothing, and it's like one of those like
No, but
zoomed
how
in choices.
you approach that changes how it is. Because if you were caught hiding, it's much worse than if you were just there.
Like that, but still, your choice doesn't really mean anything, because like you didn't actually leave or anything. Like it was no matter what happens, you're gonna get caught anyway.
The thing about Telltale
You
is
know? And that happens at least from
Yeah.
what I've seen several times.
There's-
in the first like 3 episodes.
there's peaks and climaxes of like what your decisions do. So it's like, so if I was to punch Brandon in the face right now, you know, multiple things could happen. It's just an option.
could die.
I don't
could
condone
die.
violence. He could die.
He could die.
He could start punching me back. He could just go, "Hey man, what the hell?" But that decision to punch him now could have later ramifications, such as harassment lawsuits at work, such as an assault case or whatever. Like here, the thing about Telltale that I don't think like I don't know if you like understand is that like when you make a
Watch yourself
decision
go,
in
bro.
that game, especially with The Walking Dead, where like
I get it, it
anything
comes
can happen
back.
all the time, like shit's going to happen whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Like it reminds me of like Until Dawn. Like you would do everything you could to keep those characters alive, and sometimes some shit just kills you. That's just how the game goes. And
How-
especially with The Walking Dead, that's what happens.
How I understand it is at least for season 3, as you guys are talking about it, it's less about your actions changing what happens and more how people react to what you've done.
That's
It's more reactions and less
Because
changing the plot.
and what I think they've done with it, they've gone less video gamey with it. Where like in season 1 you had like puzzles you had to do with like physics and stuff like that, and now it's almost entirely character based.
Yeah.
Like it's really just you interacting with characters, and that's really where I think a lot of it comes from. Like your decisions don't really affect game choices; they just affect like how the characters feel. And for me, it's like that's not as strong because like oh no, now Amy's mad at me, and it's like well she's only gonna be alive for 5 seconds, so who cares?
John doesn't care about emotions.
Well, I'm just saying like when it doesn't.
Heartless
No,
son of a
and
gun.
that's totally
I'm just saying.
totally a valid point though with The Walking Dead, because sometimes as soon as you start to care for a character, they're dead. But that's like what The Walking Dead.
Well, my
is
problem
always
is none of the characters are written
Yeah.
strong enough for me to care about them.
But
so.
moving on to the Golden
The
Boy.
one I
of
actually
Telltale,
really like.
The Wolf Among Us 2 was announced.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Big
Wolf
B
Among Us
Wolf is
was that was my Walking Dead season 1. I thought that one was like this is the one we need. This is the one that's good. Unfortunately, though, I think they waited way too long.
It's been
to
3
get season
years.
2
Did you see
out.
the trailer that they put out for
I
it?
did,
Where
yeah.
they're reading all the tweets. They're
Yeah.
just like, bring it back.
Because like Fables, just originally was a thing that almost nobody knew about. Nobody knew the property.
Fables
nobody
is a
knew.
comic.
It's a graphic novel.
Graphic
series.
novel series.
But nobody knew about it and everything like that. And it was so fantastic. Everybody wanted it. Then they waited. How long has it been? Like 7 years to put it out.
Well, I mean,
Like-
it took a while for The Wolf Among Us to originally come out, and then it's been 3 years in between when the last game came out and the announcement for this game. By the time The Wolf Among Us 2 comes out, it's going to be 4 years.
Yeah.
But I think
Where did I get 7 from?
I think it's going. I don't know. I think it's going to be a wait well worth it.
I mean, I know I'm gonna love it because I
Yeah.
love Fables. It's kind of sucks I already
Yeah.
know the ending, but
What are you looking forward to in it? What do you hope it covers? What do we hope? What do we hope with the plot advancing?
well, the way I think it's gonna go, because this is kind of the way that like the stories went, is they're gonna go back to the what's it called? What's the nether like the upside down? What's it called? Like their hometown, their homeland, whatever that place. I think they're gonna go back there.
Fairy Tale Land.
Fairy Tale Land, yeah. 'Cause that's a very important
So
part.
he becomes the big bad wolf again?
No, but like events happen in that world that are like
That
events in that
shake
world
up stuff
start to-
happening
Start to
in-
bring up.
okay.
Yeah. Like there's moving ons in that world.
Yeah. What about you, Brandon?
No, like I want them to go back to Fairy Tale Land, but he becomes a big bad wolf again.
Well, I think what it is when you go back, your gambit
like-
or whatever it's called goes away. Glimmer,
you
what's
like-
it called? The thing that
Yeah,
that
it was
hides
like
you?
Glimmer, right?
Yeah, I think it's called Glimmer. That goes away when you go back to Fairy Tale world.
Yeah.
We're nerds.
I just thought Fable was, the Fables and then transferring that into The Wolf Among Us was such a unique take on those properties and just like
It was really
the
cool.
idea of
It was like gritty.
When you think about Fables, it's essentially like they had that TV show on ABC a while ago. I think it was called Once Upon a Time.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
essentially a similar concept,
Terrible.
except this is gritty and this is good.
Terrible.
That was still like fairy tale-ish.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
one is just like they're in the slums.
I like how
He's
like
a detective.
most of the Fairy Tale people don't actually have powers.
Yeah.
Like Bigsby barely has powers that he can barely control. Which
He's
is why great.
strong.
He's strong.
It's another game that we would highly recommend. It's like $10
It's so good.
now.
It's
Really
so
good.
good. It's so good.
Third thing announced.
Batman.
Season 2 of Batman. It's called the Batman: The Enemy Within.
I am not excited.
Wait, like XCOM? Enemy Within?
I thought.
That was a DLC.
Oh well, you guys played it, right?
Yeah, I played Batman.
Okay.
I watched a little bit.
I thought it was like okay because I mean, just for me and I think for most people, Batman's just such a strong character. You really can't mess up with that unless you're Alan Moore. But like it wasn't that strong for me. Like I said, like the story wasn't that strong. Like once again, like the plot stuff really kind of didn't make sense. Like Lady Arkham was just terrible, just an awful character who got killed by plot rocks.
I take it
just terrible.
I take it as the way the
In your game, did you get punished, Alfred?
no, I did not.
I did. It's
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
It's amazing.
No, I took it as the unique thing about the Batman Telltale games is that you're playing about half the time, maybe more, as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
Like
which
it-
I love.
It was
I
great
absolutely
because
love.
like you truly got the whole detective aspect of it, and you saw more into his character. But I think this is a lot like the first in the Dark Knight trilogy. Like that was
Yeah.
the setup.
And this is actually kind of my main problem with it, is it's following that pattern pretty well, or not pretty well, like pretty closely is what I meant to say, because they introduced the Joker as they introduced him as
John Doe.
a very minor side character in this, and then it's like, oh, obviously he's going to be the villain for season 2.
But he's not. He's
What?
not the main villain. It's
What?
the Riddler.
What?
John Doe does the voiceover for John Doe's Joker, by the way.
I didn't watch the trailer.
Yeah,
That's the only one I didn't watch.
John Doe does the voiceover for the trailer, but Bruce Wayne is in front of a screen essentially, and a bunch of the Riddler's question marks are coming up, and that's the trailer. As like John Doe is narrating it.
They really picked the Riddler. That's not good.
Yeah, no, I know.
Riddler's cool,
I know.
For Telltale, he's cool. I
Joker's
guess.
probably going to
Puzzles
come
and
into his own in this game, right?
Yeah.
But I think the Riddler's going to be this main villain. Riddler's going to be the Lady Arkham
Riddler.
to what Penguin was in the first.
I hope Riddler's good though.
Yeah.
Because Lady Arkham's terrible.
You got to appreciate that they didn't just default to Joker being the main bad guy like everybody does. Because
I will,
like, Batman, Joker.
if
you
they
know,
keep it
together.
going where Joker just remains John Doe the whole time and he's always a support character, I would love that because Joker, except for obviously Batman 2, The Dark Knight,
Yeah.
the Joker has always been like he's a cool guy. I've never really seen him as a strong villain though.
Cool guy.
He's a cool guy.
Joker, a cool guy.
I've never seen him as a strong villain.
Yeah.
Like at least like versus Batman because they always inevitably meet and it's like well, who's gonna win?
I feel like
basically Bane or a Twigman. Like,
I feel
who's gonna
like
win?
the Joker is more of like harassment, just
Right. He's the
always in the
chaos
background, always making problems for Batman.
That's
but
why he's
never,
good at
like,
support
confronting him.
because he should never be like in the forefront because it's not his type. He can't win.
Like the Riddler directly interacts with Batman.
Right.
Joker kind of just makes problems for Batman.
Right.
Batman.
Right.
Is there any enemies you'd like to see besides
Ooh.
the Joker and?
I'd want to see
Riddler?
Poison Ivy.
Ooh.
I don't know if she was in the first one because I didn't play, but like that would be really cool. I always really enjoyed the Poison Ivy.
I don't
Yeah.
like most
I
Batman
enjoy
Or
her in the
Jason
Arkham
Todd.
series. Oh yeah,
Jason
dude.
Todd.
Oh.
I don't know if he's like Red Hood in this or not. Like if this is post, if that's in like the universe, but
Right.
Jason Todd antagonist would be really cool.
You think we could see Robin at all in this? No.
No, I don't think so.
Any other like Bat family characters?
Yeah.
I don't
Any
think- I don't-
hopefuls?
I don't think this Bruce Wayne is really for that. I don't feel it.
Do you have any hopefuls though for what's going
No,
to be
I'm
in the game?
good.
No spoiler, no.
I hope it's
Grayson.
not terrible like the first villain was.
I'd like to see some Harley Quinn stuff going on, especially because they focused on Lady Arkham last time, and they focused everything around
Yeah.
kind of like
and Catwoman.
Bruce. The biggest thing about the Batman series, but before we move on, is that at least the Telltale series, they focused on the fact that Bruce Wayne's parents were actually scumbags.
Yeah.
Like they didn't like that was the
were
whole
crimes.
crazy plot point about it. They were just spoilers. They were horrible people. For different
sounds
reasons.
interesting.
You'll play the game and you'll find out why because
Yeah.
it's a good
I'm
game.
not gonna play the game.
No.
But-
oh wow.
yeah.
We're running pretty long.
Yeah.
So we gotta wrap this up pretty quick.
Oh,
Another
what?
thing-
The segment I'm on here
Yeah,
for.
it's terrible. The other thing that we saw at San Diego Comic Con was
It
wasn't
wasn't
really-
at Comic-Con. It was
yeah.
just an announcement. BioWare's GM has changed.
no, I was talking about the zombies.
Oh, Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's
Call
what
of
I was
Duty.
talking about.
Oh my goodness.
We're not even gonna talk about Bioware, guys.
Oh god.
I just want to mention
no.
Call of
Yeah.
Duty looks cool.
We saw the zombies trailer. We'll probably put it up as
Yeah.
you've seen.
Yeah, for like 5
Looks
seconds.
really good.
Looks
just
really good.
from
It's
graphical
like
standpoint.
spooky, dude.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like its own game.
And this is being created by Sledgehammer Games. Obviously, was formed after from the the remnants of Dead Space.
Right.
That,
Yeah,
that development
yeah,
team.
right.
So they are horror game people. Like
Yeah.
this is
This is
something
what they're
they've done
good
in the
at.
past. So
It's good.
It's exciting.
But anyway, BioWare. I
BioWare.
want to talk about that for like
Yes.
4 minutes.
Oh my god.
How'd it go?
Aaron Flynn, the former GM, well, I guess now former, is stepping down for personal reasons. He wants to move on to different things. And Casey Hudson, who had left right before Mass Effect Andromeda had been worked on, released, he's coming back as GM, and this is after he's spent time at Microsoft working on like augmented reality software and whatnot. So I'm excited what he has ideas for.
Do we think Mass Effect Andromeda had anything to do with these changes? Or do you think it was all by itself?
clearly did. With Aaron,
I think
with
it
Aaron
did.
Flimstead, the other guy coming back, no. I think the other guy coming back, he expressed interest to Aaron Flynn, and that's why Aaron
Yeah, I think
felt comfortable stepping down.
It was like one of the reasons, but like he stepped down because Casey Hudson expressed interest in coming back, and he's like, this is a good opportunity for me to just like change roles.
I mean, I think like for me, Andromeda was like a complete failure from that company.
I mean, as
Critically
it
and commercially,
stands
it was.
right now, it wasn't a complete flop. It definitely didn't do a fraction as well.
well, my
as
thing
they
is like
expected it to do.
as a board member, I'd be like, this is this is the new chapter in the Mass Effect trilogy, and you release an incomplete game, and you're not going to
Well,
finish
he was
it.
the general manager of all of BioWare, whereas
Right.
Mass Effect Andromeda was worked on by BioWare. Like,
Aaron Flynn was
Ontario,
part of the
Badminton.
company before just being GM, and the guy who's coming back, Casey Hudson.
Yeah.
Both of them worked on the Dragon Age Inquisition series,
Right.
Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Didn't Hudson work on Mass Effect?
The original trilogy. He
Yeah.
worked on the entire thing.
Yeah.
And so the question I want to ask is not just where this leaves the studio Bioware as a whole, but Aaron Flynn was the game director for Anthem.
Yeah.
Where does this leave Anthem?
Hopefully in a better direction.
He said he's gonna like kind of stay around and help with that a little bit in any way he can. So
As far as I said, you can read some of the articles on Polygon posted a pretty
We'll link
good
them in
one.
the description.
Yeah. Basically just saying how Aaron Flynn was going to take 2 to 3 weeks to catch Casey
him
Hudson
up.
up to speed.
Yeah.
So he's
but
not
then
just
he was,
tossing him in
but
the
yeah,
fire.
but then he was gone. He's
Yeah.
saying at the end of July he's done. Like he's not.
for those 2 weeks, he's like, so you see
Yeah.
what Destiny 2 is doing? Just
So
do that. But
do
with
we
jump
think
packs.
Anthem? Do we think the next time we see Anthem that it's going to be taking a slightly different direction?
I don't think so.
I think so because Casey Hudson, like you saw the original Mass Effect series, like that it evolved incredibly over the course of its like development. Hopefully he takes like his history on the Mass Effect and like points this in the right direction where people aren't just like, oh, it's like a Destiny ripoff.
Right. Yeah. Any final thoughts? We're coming up.
well,
a
where
long
do we
time.
think this leaves the Mass Effect series?
I
Now that
In
he's
a much
coming
better
back.
spot than it was before.
they might try one more time. I know, like, because Andromeda's just dead in the water. They've cut DLC
Well,
for it. They moved the team away.
They cut.
They cut all the planned DLC and then moved
Yeah.
the team away.
I definitely think
I don't think anyone's working on that game anymore, honestly.
I think they're going to try again.
We'll try one more.
especially with Casey Hudson on there.
We'll try one
Like
more.
he knows what he's doing. He can rally the troops, as
Yeah.
it were.
Because I mean, he has the chops.
Yeah.
We'll do one more and then we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm optimistic for
Fingers
it.
crossed.
I'm
Fingers
hopeful
crossed.
for Anthem to see what kind of changes get implemented there. I mean, we haven't really seen anything bad, so it's been a
Who
good
knows?
thing.
Maybe they're going to just focus all their energy on Anthem and make that the best game it can be, which wouldn't be the worst thing to do.
Here's for being hopeful, and here's to episode 44 of Birds of Play.
Master Wayne.
I've
now
been
go.
Logan Anstedt.
I'm Brandon Diaz.
Let the legend come back to life. Mr.
That's
Wayne.
John McCrone. We'll see you guys next week on Birds of Play. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
Punished Alfred.
The eye patch.
Yeah, I bet. He's so cool. He's so cool. Punished Alfred is so cool. He's like, I think he grows a beard too, for some reason. It's so
Why
cool.
did- why
Wait,
did
does he just become solid face?
he just becomes
Why
so
does he just
thick.
become this grizzled person? Like he was normal
did
the
you
whole
do
time
in your
for me.
game?
Once he
before
has an
that
eye
happened?
patch,
Well, no, I
it
know
happens.
he got injured in my game, but it wasn't to the point of having an eye patch or anything.
When you're with what's her face in the caves of doom, if you don't take off your mask, she gets them.
Oh yeah, because you're supposed to. Oh no, I took off my mask. That's why. Okay.
I didn't because I'm the Batman.
Show me who you are, Bruce Wayne.
She got killed by Pyrox anyway.